Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics, and this is part 2 of restoring the 78 Nova. First video was just going over it, introduction and the history and stuff of it, and this episode we're gonna get working on it. So I got her jacked up off the ground, and to check it out. Okay, I haven't looked for all the parts that it needs yet, but I did order this quarter panel here. Went over this in the first video. It's just all, I don't know what happened to it. It's just all Bondo and rust. So I ordered the full quarter, which I believe only goes up to about here. And it didn't show just showed a side view of it. So I'm hoping it should come all the way up to here and have this piece on it too. So they said 7 to 10 days, and that was 4 days ago. So within a week it should be here. It's coming by truck, freight salvage, or freight shipping. So once I get that in, then I'll start cutting this out, and I'll probably make a whole, this thing's all Bondo too right here. I'll make a whole devoted video to putting on a quarter panel. All the steps you got to do. We'll have to take off the back bumper, all the rubber stuff there. But like I said, I'm going to wait and do all that at once in one video. Okay, so let's get up under here and look. One thing I was worried, this thing is a low rider. If you remember the first video, it even hit that little thing there coming up on the slab. And when it was on the ground, this thing is just, this and the front A-frames are like that close to the ground. It is low. At first I thought it was the exhaust that dragged, which it probably was. But, so anyway, this is the rigged up exhaust system they had. It is bolted up here, but then somebody welded in this, and then welded in this little piece here. And then it goes out to the tailpipe. Now it goes up over the rear end and out, and the tailpipe was in the trunk. Use my leg to move this. See. So I don't think we're going to go up over there and use that tailpipe. Well, I don't know if I should or not. But this, I'm not sure where it drew. I think it hit right here. So this is all got to go up. And if it does, then this is probably going to hit. So I may just cut it off right here and do some type of pipe out through the side or something. But I'm gonna start it up and see if there's any leaks, because it sounds like it's just all leaking. I can't see any leaks, but I think it's probably leaking from around the muffler. It just sounds shitty. Okay, so most of these Novas, Camaros, these partial with the front subframes, always need these bushings. You can see these bushings here. I'll probably get a set of those. It should be, what, 3 on each side, I believe. There's one there, one there, and should be one on the radiator support, so there only should be 6, I believe. Okay, there's a little gas hose here. The fuel system should be okay. Let's start at the back. Like I said, it's not one of them cars that have been sitting around for 20 or 30 years. So, fuel system should be okay. Okay, gas tank looks good. Gas gauge doesn't work. I forget what that means. Does that mean it's a ground or something? Have to check them wires. the ground there. It's connected. It's connected up in there. That should be the positive. Have to check in the trunk for that. At least just a little bit of surface rust. So there's no another wasp nests up there. Okay, this quarter panel here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's rotted right along the bottom there, about halfway. So I'm gonna have to fix that. Once I cut the quarter off, I'll have to patch in some pieces there. I'm not sure about the inner fender well, inner wheel well. And here's that, where the tailpipe must have fell off, and it was connected up in there somehow. I don't know, I might try to connect it. Okay, this all looks good here, no rust. The shocks look very old. Probably order a new set of shocks. I haven't taken the wheels off yet, checked the brakes and all that stuff. And it's kind of funny that it does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaf springs on it, but it sits kind of low. Said I think I'm just going to buy some shackles for it for now. See how much. If it raises it up a couple inches, that'll be okay. Okay, so get up under here. Go back up here. Found out the problem with the fan shroud here is it connects into these two little clips, and it looks like it needs to go in about an inch farther. So I think this radiator's out of whack. This radiator needs to go back, and then that can connect. Although it seems like this has got to go up. Anyway, I'll figure that out. There's a fuel filter here. Probably replace that. Yeah, like I said, these A-frames here, you can see by the tire, it's only like that far from the ground. You can see my hand. It's only like 4 inches maybe. Although it doesn't look like it's been scraping. This whole front is just very low to the ground. Okay, I'm not too worried about the front end. Like I said, this thing drives straight as an arrow. These little bushings here look okay. Same with that one. I can't remember if there's any banging or clunking or anything like that. Yeah, these shocks here look old and original. Not original, but you know, pretty old. So probably get some front shocks. Get front and rear shocks. It looks like this exhaust here was hitting too. And the funny thing is, this transmission is not leaking yet. It's been sitting here for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. So it's gonna have to be a long-term thing. Let this sit up here for a few weeks. I know it leaks out transmission fluid, at least a quart, enough to not make it move, but it's still moving. Okay, so other than that, that's about all I can see for now. I'm sure we'll come across a lot more stuff. If you guys see anything, let me know. Like I said, eventually we'll get this up and take out the tires, check all the brakes and all that. Brakes work good, but okay. Let's see what we got here. I need door pins. See this door here? Hits. See where it's hitting right here? Get these door pins right here. These aren't very much, like 10 bucks. Door pins and bushings. I'm gonna order some of them. These rocker covers, sill plates, were on here, but I actually took them off and used them for my 74 GTO, because I think it said from 68 to 79, Nova and all them, Ventura, Omega, Apollos, they're all the same. So I'm either going to get a new set and put them on my GTO and put the other ones back on here. I don't know. Still got the original tag on here, 5 of 78. That's when it was built. This one's all tire pressure thing's all messed up, but the VIN and everything is still on there, so I need to save that. Okay, I don't know what's up with this. It's either dirty from the inside or just faded out, but I'd like to do something with that. We're going to take that whole dash apart. I still haven't looked for dash cover, but I bet somebody makes one. The stereo here is just all hanging. I'm going to take that out and we'll put in a... I hate to cut up all that plastic though. Well, we'll figure out something. Anyway, we're going to put in a good stereo. Got some cigarette butts in there. There's the other little cover there. And I believe this lock here is for the passenger side. I put all the locks in except for that passenger side one. Yeah, there was some stuff for the lock set. The cardboard's good though. No mice or rats have been living in that. But I don't know if this thing is all warped. It does look pretty warped. I don't know if an overlay will cover all that up or not. I still haven't checked on that guy I was going to get the parts car from. I don't think there's going to be very much good parts in there. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe something to do with the stereo. I have to check all these wires and stuff. The brake pedal looks kind of worn. She could have 200,000 miles on it. I don't know. Floors here are really good. Just need a little pour 15 on it. I'm going to pour 15 this, below it. At least that rear bumper when I take it off to do the quarter panel. We'll do that. I'm not sure about the seats yet. I haven't checked to see if I got any better ones. I got to decide on a color for everything. I'm pretty sure this interior is going to go black. That's going to be the easiest. I'm not sure what this is here. Somebody just put some material over it. That's not factory or nothing. It feels like the cardboard might be underneath of it. I'm going to take all that apart. This seat is about to disintegrate. You can see here. I'm going to take all that out. Take these rear door panels off. Take the sun visors off. And then all them pieces in the trunk. We're going to get some black vinyl paint. And all these pieces here, we're going to paint all that black. Here's that piece of the tailpipe that must have fell off here. That's not going to be going back on. Okay, I said if there's one door handle here, they make them new, but they're $100 each. Oh, here's one of the mirrors. That's cheap plastic. Probably not a good one. I don't know if you can see that plate. There's that. Somebody put in a plate right there. It's supposed to be. This is supposed to be in there like that. I think that's what I got from the junkyard. This thing here. because I'm going to do the other quarter panel first. But this one here, it's savable, but it's all Bondo here. It's all Bondo. We're going to take that off, see if we can heat it up, straighten that out, strip her down, strip all the old paint off of it. And then right up here, it's all Bondo here. I don't know if you could see before, it was too dark. There's all holes here with Bondo coming out of them. There you go. See that? So you're gonna rework all that, and that's what happened down here too. You can see the Bondo. But we're gonna straighten this quarter out. There's no rust. Yeah, there's no rust down there. A little bit of surface rust, but no holes. Then the wheel well looks pretty good. Looks good right up to here. They put a little something there, but it's not all packed with Bondo and rust like the other side. So, and a little bit of Bondo here, but we can save this. They're 200. The quarter panel was 230, but then with tax it was 242 shipped. So save ourselves 242 bucks by fixing this one, but the other one, you got to replace it. I haven't checked on the door panels. There was one place that had kind of a fancy Nova Custom or something panels, but I didn't even see what they were. I just need some plain Jane panels. I don't care what color they are. We can paint them black. Need the weather stripping. The headliner, I doubt I'm going to put one in, because my 74 GTO that was 500 bucks. I'm not spending 500 on a headliner. I can kiss my ass on that. Okay, so let me open this hood back up again. Lever right there. I did lube up the hood hinges. They were pretty stiff. We got them lubed up. We'll paint under the hood black. That'll all be black. Yeah, like I said, I think the radiator needs to come back about an inch, because this fan hits top of the shroud. Anyway, I'll get all that fixed. Something was squealing, one of these belts. May have to get new belts on it. The AC compressor is freed up, but this has got to be tied up somehow. You can actually see right here where it's been wearing in. I don't know if we'll get the AC going or not. Okay, I'm gonna do some pour 15 up here on those wheel wells. These fenders maybe might have to take them off, or maybe not, I don't know. There's one rust spot right here. I know, all you northern guys, oh, that's nothing. But it's got to be patched up. We got to patch in some metal here. So I have to at least undo the bottom, and then it's got. I think I'm gonna have to get another door, and it's been smacked right here. They smacked into something right here and pushed that fender back. So we're gonna have to rework that fender. This wheel well here is all surface rust. See the frame too, all that's going to be pour 15'd. Take the wheels off, we'll do the A-frames. A lot of pour 15 on this. How much I take apart, I don't know yet. It's got a little air dam right here that's broke. The whole middle section is gone. See, we can see up here. Let's see, little sway bar bushings look good too. I think somebody must have rebuilt this at one time, the front end, although it looks all original. The thing drives so straight. And where's the other? Is that the other? Oh yeah, see? Bushing's completely gone. I think that's what the problem is with the, why that shroud's hitting. You see that's gone? That's what usually happens. Them two front ones to the core, from the frame to the core support. So what happens is, this front end is down too far. That's why that fan's hitting the shroud. So when you put a couple inches in there of the new bushings, well, it'll probably raise it up about an inch. So it'll raise this front up and then can mount the bottom of this shroud and the radiator support. So yeah, that's what it is. That's why this front end's a little bit low. Okay, let's see what else we can check while we're... Oh, left the keys in the trunk. Definitely needs trunk rubber. Well, I think that's what I had in the front, a new weather stripping, but it wasn't for this car, it was for another car. But anyway, you can see this trunk rubber is just shot. Did we check the trunk floor? I think the trunk floor is pretty good. It's just got some surface rust on it. So we'll clean that out, scrape all that off, 415 that. So yeah, I'll check if that weather stripping fits, if it's the right one. This looks kind of funky. They should be pretty much universal. Yeah, this weather stripping here, I think this was for another car that I didn't use or something like that. So I'll check that. Gotta figure out a color for this thing. Let's check the wipers. Oh, wipers work. Fan motor kind of works. But the speed doesn't. Blower motor works, but the speed doesn't speed up. Figure that out. I did check the lights. All the lights seem to work. And these lenses here are friggin' $100 each. $100 for the set. And that's just the lenses. But yeah, you can see them lights are on. I'm not spending that. I only check just... And there's the lights, there's the signals. They work. Okay, even the stereo comes on, but I don't think there's any speakers hooked up to it. It doesn't really do anything. Turn that off. Okay. So these are all the pieces here that I got in the trunk. So we need to figure out a color. Originally, I said in the first video, red with a gold. Red with a gold goes around here and goes down. But since I was showing my paint the other day, here's the Aspen RT I painted. If you haven't been following that, got the whole series on that, fixing to put the decals and everything on it. So when I was showing the paint, I do have a gallon of silver metallic of the good paint that I like, the Nason 2K. So I'm thinking whether that I should go silver with this, and this is the perfect car for that big wide racing stripes, you know. Put the big wide racing stripes from here to here, all the way down, probably even the roof. Go along the roof black, and the trunk's perfect for it too, nice and flat right here. So what do y'all think about a silver light silver metallic with 2 big black racing stripes all the way down. And maybe black down here coming up with a little stripe. Because I need to figure out a color, because that's when I got to do the doors. Like the doors, I got to take them doors apart to do the door pins. So since they're apart, I might as well paint the door jambs and get them real good. Same with other stuff that I got to take stuff off and everything. I might as well just paint the jambs, you know, paint the jambs under the trunk. Under the hood will go black, but like under this trunk here, I'm not sure what this, oh, that's probably for the license plate light. Yeah, that's supposed to be connected up in here. So, you know, to paint all little stuff like this, I gotta figure out the color of the car, what color I want to paint it. So tell me what y'all think in the comment box. The silver with black stripes, or a red with a gold. I think it'll go along here, gold along here, around the wheel well, and down. Okay, yeah, we got that cheap plastic mirror, so I might have to buy a set. I think I'll have to dig out all my Chevy stuff. I got the old style mirrors. Well, in fact, that mirror there is old style anyway. It's not the sport type, but it's just a cheap aftermarket. See, it's all loose. So to get a set of mirrors, does it have the, it doesn't have anything on, well, this door's been changed anyway. And then of course you need these belt moldings here. The moldings, I forget what they're called. They go around the glass. Have to order all that. Have to check on a windshield. We're gonna have to see, that's the other thing I need paint for too. So I'll do it just like I did the RT. I'll take off all this chrome, you know, if I do the windshield, and I'll paint all the inside of that jam area there. Same with this thing. This thing I'll take off and paint underneath it. You can see I'll paint in here. I'll paint all that, paint underneath this piece, and then put it all back on. So that's why I need a color pretty quick. Same with this, these moldings here. I'm going to take off all these moldings here, clean it all up, re-silicone the window if I have to, then paint it all in there, and then probably put all the moldings and stuff back together. So it can't go black because I just painted my RT black. So light silver, since I already have it, and red. I do have some red, but I probably will order this red called Candy Red in the Nissan 2K, and I'll need to order a gallon of that if it goes red. I think it'll look good red. Okay, so I have to put some money in my PayPal account and start ordering parts. Other than the quarter panel, I already have. Already ordered that. But I'll make a list of all the little stuff and start ordering them parts up, and we'll get to putting them on. In the meantime, we'll do that exhaust, cut that exhaust off, and stuff like that. So okay, I'll be back when we get some work done to it. Okay guys, we're gonna get an early start. Still got all morning dew on the car. I cleaned out the trunk a little bit. We're gonna clean everything out of this trunk and put some 415 on here because it's getting kind of bad. We want to save it before it completely starts getting holes in it and stuff. Okay, I took off some of this weather stripping, and this stuff that I had is for 64 to 72 GM, so it's different. You can see this, it's got a little lip there, whereas this new stuff, it kind of looks the same, but it doesn't have a little groove in it. So I think I'm going to take a razor blade and cut that edge down, and that should maybe sit in there, sit in there like that, because I think that's the way this is, as you can see on here. So if I cut that edge down, I think I can make that work. Okay, so we're going to take off all this, empty the trunk, wire brush it down, sand it down, and then pour 15. It doesn't have to be sanded down perfect down to bare metal or nothing, because that pour 15 works to right over rust. Okay, it's got some speakers in it, but they're probably shot. I don't know. Not gonna put in speakers right at the moment, but okay, now amongst all this stuff, I found, I don't know if I bought them or what, but these are some door pins here, bushings. So we got 2 new door pins and 4 new bushings. So we're gonna start on this door here, and I'll show you. I'm gonna move this up with my knee. But can you see that pin right here? Okay. Okay, watch it. See it? So what you gotta do, you gotta use a punch or something and get at the bottom of this pin. I don't know. Yeah, it might have a little C-clip on there. Pop that C-clip off, then use a punch and a hammer and pop that all the way up on both. Now at the bottom, there's a special little spring remover here. Well, you can pop that spring out with a screwdriver. You just gotta watch it, and you gotta use that tool to put that spring back in. And I'll show you that. But yeah, watch. Take that, put some vice grips or something on that, and then pry it out with a screwdriver. If not, that thing could fly and be deadly. Okay, so I'm gonna take them out, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, I got the door off. I said with this spring here, grab them with vice grips, then pry the end with a screwdriver and pull it out. Then the pins that go here through the door, they got a little C-clip here, and you just pop that off with a screwdriver. Stick a screwdriver in there, pop it off. Okay, then you get to use the hammer, and you use like a center punch or a screwdriver the bottom here, and you pop it up like that, and then wiggle the door around, and these ones came right out. But yeah, if you're from up north and they've been rusted in there, you're gonna have a hell of a time getting them out. But that's all you can do, is just keep punching it up. Okay, so we'll take a look at these. These holes here are okay. They're not wallowed out, but it's the ones in the doors that are. Okay, so here's the hinges here. As you can see, one bushing is, say the bushings are shot. And what happens is these holes here get wallowed out. There's a bushing there. This is part of it here. This is part of the bushing that was in this door. There's a bushing goes in there. And then same on this bottom one. So there's one here. Actually, that bottom one seems pretty tight. So you want to pop them out. You just get in there with a screwdriver and pop them out. Okay, they usually make oversized of these new bushings. So you want to put them in there and make sure they don't wiggle around too much, so there ain't too much play in there. I think that one will probably go right in there. Yeah, that one went right in. Check this other side here. I think that'll go in too. These aren't too bad. Now you're going to get some cars, and then you check them to see if they wiggle around. Okay, you'll get some cars that these holes here are just wallowed out. So you can either get the bigger bushings if somebody sells them, and if not, what I've done in the past is you pack the bushing here in the hole, pack that all with JB weld, and then stick that bushing in there and let it sit and dry real good. Okay, that's what I've done before. Now here's the new pin here, so you want to check. And there it goes. See how that new pin goes in there? And check it for any play. That one seems pretty tight. So yeah, okay, then you would take that pin out, put it back on the hinge, and drop your pins down in there, bang them down in, and it should be good. But like I said, most of the time you're going to get these things that are almost too far gone, and you can't really change out the hinges real easy because they're welded on there. So you got to try to save these hinges. So anyway, so yeah, you pop that down in there, and then you put your C-clip back on there. Although I don't think these pins will come out. You know, I don't think they'll back themselves back out. So if you can't get the little clips on there, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay, so I'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, I got the door. You can see it doesn't hit anymore, but it needs to go. It drops down just a hair. So once it's back on the ground, I'm going to use a jack and a piece of 2x4 here and jack this up and bend the door up just a hair, just, you know, ½ inch or so. The bottom bushing was wallowed out. The one probably right in here, I think it was this one or the bottom one. It's kind of wallowed out, so I wrapped that bushing, this little bushing here, they're brass. I just put JB weld around it and stuck it in there, and then closed the door. And it probably didn't, like I said, it's just off a hair, but top one doesn't move at all. The bottom one, just a hair. Okay, so last thing we got to do is put in this spring. And the only tool to do it is this tool here. You cannot get that spring in there without it. The spring here. Okay, so what you got to do, I can't do it with just one hand. You take this ½ inch and you open it up like that. Then you put the spring in. You have to, something like that. See, like that? Then you tighten it up, this up all the way. Be very careful, make sure that's in there real good. You don't want that thing flying out of there. Okay, so you tighten that up all the way, and then you stick it in here like this, because you want it catching this both ends. And then you would do it this way here, so you can get your wrench in that 1/2 inch and loosen that up and then pull it out. But be very careful, because it's still going to have a little bit of grip on there. So I'm going to do that here in a minute. I can't do it with one hand. Okay, I cleaned out the trunk. Had these 2 mats here. They say Bel Air on them. Those 2 mats were sitting right here collecting water, and of course we've seen how bad the weather stripping was. I took all that off. So what happened was it collected water and it made some rust holes here. Little there, a couple little pinholes here, couple little pinholes here. It's nothing structural, so I'm not going to get another trunk pan and weld it in there. So what I'm fixing to do now is I cleaned all this out, scraped it, sanded it with some 80 grit, just scuffed over it, and vacuumed up all the loose debris. So what I'm going to do is use pour 15 after I get that door spring in there. We'll come back out here. And basically I'm going to pour 15 all the rust. Okay, and then when that dries, like after a day or so, I think I'm going to come over here with some fiberglass matting and resin and just cover all that up with fiberglass in this area here. A little pinhole there. We're going to pour 15 just the rusty spots. You don't want to pour 15 like this, because it won't stick. Or this here, it won't stick. It only sticks on rust. So I got a little 1/2 pint or whatever it is, 4 ounces or whatever it is. I buy them in those little cans, so I can just use a little bit at a time. So anyway, I'll be back when I get that ready to. So I'll be back. Okay guys, there's the spring in there. Sprayed some WD-40 and stuff in there. That spring is to hold the door open. See, so it holds the door open like that. And WD-40 everything, so there's no creaking. Like I said, just a little. I'm just going to jack it up just a hair. Make it perfect. Okay, so back to the trunk. Here's a pour 15. I buy them in these little 6-pack, 4 ounce, 1/4 pint. And I buy them that because if you buy them by the quart and you go to put that lid back on, it'll weld itself shut unless you put some tape around it or something like that. So anyway, we're going to use up this whole little can just on this trunk. Like I said, we're just going to do the rust. So I'm just going to pour it on here. And we're going to use a brush like this. And just brush it on there real good. I'd rather do this first than the fiberglass. Fiberglass will stick to this. This is all dripping down on underneath. You don't want to get any of this pour 15 on you, because I've done a few videos on it already, and this stuff will stick to your skin, take you 20 showers to get that stuff off. Nothing takes it off. You just gotta wait till it naturally wears off. So wear gloves or whatever, but it's dripping down on the ground, so don't even get on the ground after this. You do it because you'll get that stuff all over your clothes and your skin. But anyway, this is the best stuff here that I've found to stop the rust. It stops it, whatever they call it, encapsulates it. Works really good. I've been using it for a long time, and like I said, you only put it on rust. It'll only stick to rust. If you try to put it over non-rusty surfaces, it'll actually just peel off. So just remember that. Especially, I watched one guy, and he did some window frames that had a little bit of rust on them, but he did the whole frames. And the problem is, it'll all peel off. That's not rusty. And that windshield is not going to be sealed. It's all going to be leaking and everything else. So what I'll do with this, like I said, just the rusty spots, and then I'm going to do that fiberglass work, and then we'll just paint the whole thing with regular paint. You can use regular paint or undercoating, stuff like that, over, like I said, the areas that aren't rusty. And then what you want to do is you want to get in these little, see where this little caulking and stuff is? Stick your brush in there and get all in there real good too. This ain't no concourse restoration or nothing, but since you're doing this already, just try to do the best job you can. If it's concourse restoration, you would, take all that caulking off and redo it. But this is like, it's just a cheap car. We're not going to go overboard on this and do all that, but we're just going to okay, so I'm going to go over the rest of that off camera, and then we'll let that dry overnight, or maybe 2 days, and come back and put some fiberglass on there, and then paint the whole thing. And then that's why I wanted to pick a color, because I want to put this weather stripping on here. I'm doing all this to protect it so it doesn't rust any further. And of course the main thing is you got to keep the rain from coming in. It's not going to rain for another week, but 20% chance, in 5 days. So I want to get the weather stripping on there. So I don't know, I'm going to put a little paint or something around these edges. Do a little something, then I'm going to glue that weather stripping on there real good. And that way it'll be protected for the length of time we work on this. And so anyway, I'll be back later. Okay guys, I'm going to show you how I'm going to repair this these rust holes. There's the port 15. It's pretty dry. You buy these kits from like AutoZone, O'Reilly, stuff like that. It'll come with a little bag of cloth resin. So we're going to patch up this rust hole here. There's a little one here, and then this one here. Okay, so I just cut up 2 pieces for each one. Okay, I'm going to put them there because I'm going to mix up this resin just right on the floor here. So mix up some resin. You put a couple little dabs of hardener in it, not very much. And then I'm going to mix it up with this brush here. Now this rust hole here, I put some tape along the bottom, but it didn't stick very good, so I don't think it's gonna stick, but I was just gonna keep it from dripping down and making it look crappy underneath, but you can always grind that off or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna smear some resin all along here. And we're gonna lay down a piece of cloth like that and dab it in there. You know, I got a little hole up there too I gotta fix. Just keep dabbing it until that cloth is just saturated with resin. And then you can go ahead and put your other one on there. Give it a little strength. Grab some resin. Okay, we'll do this little area here. Okay, I don't know how much resin we got left here. Do this area here. Put our second patch on there. Okay, that's basically to fix these little rust holes. That's how I do it. And then when it completely dries, you can paint it or undercoat it. You know, put some rhino lining type spray stuff on there. Make it look good. But anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to patch that little hole there. And I think I got a little hole. Thought I had a little hole somewhere else, but okay, well, I'll be back later. Okay, guys, I think I got the trunk pretty much done. Just had a can of undercoating I sprayed on there. I'm gonna get some more cans and do, you know, when we finish these quarter panels, I'll spray some more on there. But for now, it's patched up. Got a coat on there. I put the weather stripping on here, but I didn't glue it. There was a little bit of black gunk on there to kind of hold it anyway from the old stuff. But anyway, it fit pretty good. I just had to slice open the bottom there and put it on there. But I can take it off to paint it, and then I'll permanently put some contact cement or something on there. But anyway, it's fixed up so it doesn't rust anymore. Water gets in there and all that while we're working on it. Okay, so this video, I didn't realize how long it was getting, but we had to go over inspect it and see what all it needs. The quarter panel will be here tomorrow. I ordered the body mount kit. It was like $80 or $90 for the set with all the hardware, bolts and the washers and all that. And I went ahead and got just the bushings for 40 bucks. Because I do have a box of old hardware, so we're gonna have to do that, but to me it ain't worth the extra 50 bucks to get the hardware. So that'll be coming soon. I'll put some money in my PayPal fixing to order some more stuff, maybe the dash and all that. So we'll have to do that next video. I think we'll just do the quarter panel. It's going to take a while to do that, and I'll go step by step of putting on this quarter panel. It'll be here tomorrow. So stay tuned for all this. I'm going to wrap up this video for now, so stay tuned. And we got a long ways to go on this, but not too long, you know, maybe a couple of months. And I also got to call and see about the parts car and see what kind of stuff we can get from that. Okay, so thanks for all watching. Stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. And we'll see you next video.